Welcome. Not all channels yet. Wait for all the channels to come on. Make sure everybody's okay with my title. Yes, good. We're live. Well, hello everybody. Welcome to the show. We are live. It looks like Frankie here's trying to help me with my cable. Isn't that funny? He's like, here's your cord, buddy. Oh, thanks, Frankie. Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you, bro. All right, so I saw a thing from the Gray Zone, and I don't feel the need to really show you. I just know that the Gray Zone is real big right now. You know, they've got Aaron Mate and Max Blumenthal, I believe, work for them, and others. Hey, Dave C. Free the main channel. Yeah, I agree. I agree with that sentiment for sure, brother. Free the main channel. Yes. I'm not trying to get it back. I'm not appealing or anything. I'm just gonna wait. I'm in no hurry. That channel doesn't do anything for me anyway. It really doesn't. It just gets me in trouble. So, bunch of fucking trolls show up on it. Fuck them, you know? How many indoctrinated will wish you happy day? I don't know. Probably a lot. Everybody wants to do that, you know? Everyone's so hung up on it. Hey, Nick, what's up, buddy? So you guys might be wondering what the title's about. I believe I was on Twitter this morning. And is it Twitter? No, it was YouTube. Good. Even better, because it'll be in my history. And I saw a GREYZONE video, which I don't normally watch. Look, I appreciate everything that Jimmy Dore picks up from the GREYZONE and has on his show. I appreciate Aaron Mate and Max Blumenthal for what they do. But they are, believe it or not, just like everyone else out there, they're playing a fucking narrative, just like everyone else is. And you might be wondering, like, what do you mean they're playing a narrative? GREYZONE always seems like they're right in the middle of everything. Oh, well, maybe look into where their stance is on free speech when they don't agree with the rhetoric. So let's take a look, shall we? You got to ask yourself, why would you use the language that you use? So you're supposed to be a reporter. This guy's supposed to be a reporter. I'm going to point some things out. I don't know who this guy is. He's from the Gray Zone. This was put up yesterday, right? This video is from yesterday. And can I just say, I fucking hate mustaches. I hate them. Okay? I hate mustaches. Okay. But anyway, that being said.
The United States has been leading a campaign at the United Nations to defend Nazis.
Now, do you see how he smiles when he says that? Did you guys hear what he just said? Do you want me to turn it up? He's got this big fucking grin on his face when he says that. You know why? Because, number one, it's not true. Number two, he knows he's lying. He knows that the United States isn't defending Nazis. Right? But I digress. Let's go back and listen one more time.
Since 2013, the United States has been leading a campaign at the United Nations to defend Nazis.
Now, let me ask you guys this. If you believe that the United States is defending Nazis, let me ask you this instead. Put a 1 in my live chat right now if you think this is bullshit. Before you even hear any of it. Just sounds kind of bullshitish to you, just doing this. Who could give me a number 1? and just be like, man, what do you mean United States is the United Nations defending Nazis? Didn't we defeat Germany in World War II? Didn't we defeat Nazism in World War II? Wasn't that what we fought World War II over? Does it make sense to you that the United States is the United Nations defending Nazis and Nazism? Look, I love that the name of this show is Propaganda Today, because it literally is. Anti-United States government. Hey, man, I fucking hate the United States government. And there's all kinds of things to attack them on. The Gray Zone knows it. But when you find some stupid propaganda issue like this and make it your hill to stand on, you lose all of your power and all your support. No one's going to fucking take the Gray Zone seriously from this day on. And I know what you guys are thinking. How could Nay be on top of this in front of everybody else? How come Nay is calling out the Gray Zone and nobody else is? Because they haven't seen this bullshit yet. And when they see this bullshit, they're going to laugh and laugh and laugh. Then they're going to hear me talking about it, and they're going to go, oh shit, I need to be talking about that shit too. And then all of a sudden, everybody's being talking about how the Gray Zone fucking jumped the shark on free speech. Now, what? My audience isn't interested in this sort of conversation? You guys don't, everybody left. Who's still here? Who is still in my live chat? Wow, man, I start a show and everybody fucking leaves. Is anybody here? Is anybody here at all? Who could tell me that they're still here watching this show? Because why am I fucking wasting my time? Nick, Killer GB, Kevin Vaught. So I didn't get a 1 from Kevin Vaught. Yo, Kevin, why didn't you give me a 1? You believe this shit? So you're Kevin Vaught. What you're telling me right now, for not putting a 1 in my chat, what you're telling me is that this sounds legit to you, that the United States is at the United Nations defending Nazism. That sounds right. Is that what you're saying, Kevin? Because you didn't give me a 1. In fact, I only got 2 1s in the whole chat. Only 2 of you think that this is bullshit? Look at the smile on his face. You can't tell that he's pulling your fucking leg? Oh, the United States is defending Nazism at the UN. Look at the laughter. Can I not get any more 1s from you guys? Seriously. I can't get any more 1s in the chat? So you guys believe that I'm not even going to go on, man. I swear, this is like talking to a bunch of fucking idiots. You guys won't even fucking play ball with me. Let me just say, Killer GB, Nick Brown, and Kevin, thank you for the 3 of you. Dave C, does this make sense to you? Oh, thank you. Okay. Who else is here? Why aren't you guys fucking playing ball? Thank you, Nick. Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Kevin. And, thank you, Killer GB. Okay, let me ask the other people that are here to give me a 1 in the chat if you don't believe this bullshit right from the start. Oh, wait, let me guess. You guys are Gray Zone fans. So this guy's working for the Gray Zone, so this must be true. Is that where I'm at? Oh, okay, all right, fine. Well, I tell you what, all you fucking Gray Zone fans out there, let's listen to it again, all right? And let's hear how he's gonna portray this for you.
Since 2013, the United States has been leading a campaign at the United Nations to defend Nazis. That might sound like it's some crazy hyperbolic claim, but no. The U.S. is being a brave, noble voice on the international stage at the UN and being the only country in the world to consistently vote in defense of Nazism.
Okay, now, Debbie, now that you're here, can I get a 1 in the chat from you if you don't believe this bullshit? Can I get a 1 from everyone in the chat who says, man, the United States isn't at the United Nations defending Nazism. I'm not going to buy that bullshit. You're probably going to turn this off and not even listen to what the guy said. But I digress. Give me a 1 if, like me, you think this is a bunch of bullshit from the very start. Thank you, Kevin Vaught. Does anybody else here believe that the United States is defending Nazism at the UN? Nazism! You know, murdering the Jews, taking over the planet. Is that what America stands for? And is that what they preach at the UN? This guy does 28 minutes trying to convince you that they are. It only took me 25 seconds to prove him wrong to my entire audience. I'm getting nothing but ones in the chat. I know you guys can't see them because I've got this in the way. Nothing but ones in the chat right now. I want you guys to see. Look, one. Look, everybody's putting ones in. I've convinced my entire audience that this guy's full of shit. And he works for the fucking Gray Zone. You know, those reporters that Jimmy Dore has on his show all the time because he has so much respect for Aaron Mate and Max Blumenthal. And they're such great reporters. And whoever this guy is, he looks like, I swear I don't know who this guy is, but to me, it looks like Max Blumenthal and Aaron Mate had a child. You know, they went to a lab, they had their DNA fucking taken out in a test tube, they fertilized an egg with their DNA, and this is what came out. It's Aaron Blumenthal. It's Max Mate. I swear to fuck! Does this guy look like a complete hybrid between Aaron Mate and Max Blumenthal to you guys? Are you guys with me on this? Anybody? Can you guys fucking talk along or anything? Can you guys communicate with me words at all? I would love it. In the meantime, listen to this.
And that is not in any way hyperbole.
Oh, yes it is. It is all hyperbole. Not only is it all hyperbole, but it's also propaganda, because don't forget, you're watching a show called Propaganda Today. You know, I know that's not the intention of the title, but it's just kind of fucking ironic, isn't it? That he's spouting fucking anti-American propaganda. Look, I'm just as anti-American as the next guy. My difference, the difference between me and him, is I talk about things that are truthful to call out America. He just makes stuff up to try to convince you, and that's how you lose support. This is why Jimmy Dore is losing fans.
Since 2013, a series of countries at the United Nations have been introducing a resolution that is called Combating Glorification of Nazism, Neo-Nazism, and other practices that contribute to fueling contemporary forms of racism, racial discrimination, xenophobia, and related intolerance.
Oh, now, what? Aren't those also alternate forms of government that spurn conversation and forms of government that you might disagree with? Oh, you don't like Nazism? Well, it's a form of government. You don't like socialism? Well, it's a form of government. You don't like communism? It's a form of government. But you want to silence people that you disagree with now. Nazi, though, you don't like Nazism? Why? Because they killed the Jews? What, are you Jewish? Well, that was a bad aspect of Nazism. What about socialism? Didn't they kill all the Christians? In communist China, don't they murder motherfuckers? Don't they burn books? Look, I'm not anti those forms of thinking at all. I might disagree with aspects of them, but I want to hear from people who agree. Even a fucking Nazi. I'll talk to a Nazi. I don't fucking care. I'll talk to a fucking Nazi. You have every right. If you want to subscribe to Nazism, you have every right to subscribe to it. That's your beliefs. That's fine. I'm okay with that. I'm fine with that. I'm not trying to exterminate people who have different ideas than me. God, that almost sounds like Nazism, doesn't it? Huh. Think about it. They want to banish all forms of information that they disagree with. Hey, man, it might be unhealthy, and it might spurn people to become racist. That's your fucking problem of living in an area, a zone, if you will, of grayness, of free speech. You know, I thought the gray zone was all about free speech. Now the gray zone is saying, no, we don't like Nazis or anything similar to it, or the people discussing it, or discussing other stuff that causes racism, so we're just going to ban the fucking conversation completely. We're going to ban the form of government, and anytime we see it, we're going to exterminate it. We're going to lock those people up, and we're going to silence them and gag them. Gray Zone, Jimmy Dore's champions. Max Mate over here. Fucking Aaron Blumenthal over here. Fucking hybrid-looking motherfucker.
Now, in international law and international diplomacy at the UN, they're not good. Lawyers are not good at marketing. They're not good at these short, bite-sized titles. It's a very long name of a resolution, but every single year since 2013...
Here, douchebag, I'll give you a better name for it, okay? Ending of free speech bill. How about that? Why don't you just call it what it is, you fucking douchebag? Why don't you say you don't want other people that you disagree with to be able to speak? Oh, but it's racist. Yeah, well, I think that your pro-Jew shit's racist against Arabs. What do you think about that, motherfucker? Or I think your pro-Arab bullshit's fucking racist against Jews. You guys go all over the place with the fucking gray zone. My point is, we let you speak. No matter who you're defending or what you're saying, we give you the ability to speak. You're the gray zone. You're journalists. We want to hear what you have to say. The one thing we don't want to hear you say is that you want to silence other voices that you disagree with. Then it becomes Orwellian. It's fucking 1984 all over again over there at the fucking gray zone. It's the 1984 zone, man. I have no clue who those people are, so I can't say. You have no clue who those people are? Who fucking cares who they are? I'm telling you what they say. I'm telling you what they stand for. You don't have to know them personally, bro. You know what I mean? Like Convo, we make stuff up couch. Yeah, I totally disagree with them, but I don't want them silenced. You know, they lie, but I don't want them silenced. You know, that Fiorella fucking, whatever her fucking name is, she got blocked off of Twitter twice yesterday, man. She's banned. And I laugh about that because she's a fucking liar. At the same time, I think she should have the right to fucking espouse her fucking lies all over the goddamn internet. These motherfuckers just jumped the shark. Gotta be careful if you carry that guy around. If you knock his head on something, his head will break off like a champagne flute. Billy goes after the physical comedy. He's a bobblehead, right? I love it. He's got that tiny little neck. Hey, man, Aaron Mate and Max Blumenthal went to a lab and dually fertilized an egg, and this is what came out. Aaron Blumenthal, Max Mate. That's what you get. This guy, super Jew. I don't know. Anyway, all I'm saying is, look, man, the Jews are the new Nazis. You guys need to fucking listen. It's true. They really are. And I'm watching it happen, man. I'm watching these Jews. We want to silence all the people. Oh, the United States, man, they're supporting free speech. How dare they? Listen to this guy. This goes on for 28 minutes. I'm not going to bore you with all of this. I'm just going to let you hear a little bit of it so you can see how obnoxious Max Blumenthal and Aaron Mate, how obnoxious the company they work for has become.
The United Nations.
They support this.
A series of countries, largely in the global south, have been introducing this resolution year after year. And year after year, Washington has been almost alone. Sometimes it's joined by one other country.
Yeah, it's almost as if the United States is the only country that's really concerned with free speech and understands it like nobody else does. Hey, man, we beat the Nazis back in 1945. We won that fucking war. We'll still let them talk. That is a beautiful thing about America. When people are like, yo, Nate, why don't you move? Hey, man, because I get to say whatever the fuck I want when I sit right here. Because I'm in America. And if a Nazi wants to say whatever the fuck he wants, I'm all for it too. I have to be. Jimmy Dore taught me that. And Jimmy Dore loves these guys. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. I would love to talk to Jimmy Dore about this video right here. Hey, Jimmy, how do you feel about silencing Nazis? Hey, man, I'll go there. I'm not a pussy. I'll talk about it, and I'll tell you exactly how I feel about it. I don't like it. Not one bit. I don't like silencing Nazis. You might hate Nazis. Well, they fucking hate you too. There you go. You're even. So why don't they get to silence you? Oh, because they're not the ones that are in power right now. But if they were, you'd be silenced for sure. You'd be dead. It's not my point, though. My point is, that's where you're going. You're following their path. And silencing them isn't the way to avoid it. That's the slippery slope that you're sliding down right now. That's the linchpin. That's the straw that broke the fucking Nazis' back. You know, I should say that broke the back of the goddamn First Amendment. It's ugly, it's disgusting, it's despicable. Free speech sucks. Period. Free speech sucks. You either love it or you fucking hate it. You know? You better learn to love it or you're not going to have it anymore. You better learn to allow a Nazi to fucking have his fucking say or your fucking voice gets silenced next. Gray Zone! Fucking Max Mate, Aaron fucking Blumenthal looking motherfucker. Does that make me racist? Does Rogie try to get secondhand smoke? Holy shit, gotta be careful if you carry that guy around. Okay. So, none of my audience is interested in this. That's fine. I don't give a fuck. This interests me. My free speech is the most important thing I got. And what sucks is my audience couldn't give a fuck about my free speech or your own. None of you guys are saying anything. Nobody. Are you sharing this around? Are you getting more people here? Are you fucking entering in the conversation? Have any of you tweeted this at anybody? No, of course not. You guys could give a fuck. I've got the least activist goddamn audience on the goddamn internet.
Against this revolution,
nobody gives a fuck about anything.
The only country on earth to consistently vote in defense of Nazism. So this happened again.
And I gotta tell you, man, you let motherfuckers like this go and run rampant, and y'all go silent on this shit. Oh, I bet if we go through the comments, everybody's supporting these motherfuckers. Oh yeah, you gotta get rid of the Nazis. Let's just see. I'm kind of curious. I'm kind of curious. So much for American values. There's some support. So how do NATO revisionists characterize the U.S. when it was allied with Russia during World War II? I don't know. Basically a list of who's who's of U.S. lapdogs. Would like to see you guys have Russell. Oh yeah, another topic. How do you? The school in Ukraine. None of these people are even fucking. Nobody's even paying attention. I'm curious how Israel voted. I'm disgusted by my country's voting record on this, Canada. Yeah, take our free fucking speech away. You fucking idiots. I can't even read it. I can't even go through it, man. I'm so disgusted with them, and I'm fucking disgusted with my own goddamn audience. You guys don't give a fuck about nothing. And let me tell you something. Your free speech is everything. It's fucking everything. You get to come here, and you get to listen to me say whatever the fuck I want, and you have fun. Hey, watch this. Watch this, cunt. Oops. Bye-bye. So, look. This is where I'm at with this. Seriously. The lack of support from my audience today on this shit makes me realize you guys can't even fucking think for yourselves, man. I am fucking so sick of doing this shit. I'm so sick of it. I'm so sick of entertaining an audience that couldn't give a fuck. You guys got nothing to fucking say. So much for that cunt's free speech. Yeah, right? My mini little podcast, it's not the world, bro. So, you know, there's a difference there. Henry Hal Smith gives a fuck. Well, Henry, I gotta tell you, it's a little late because I don't even give a fuck anymore. My audience has just completely fucking let me down today, and I just don't even want to engage. I'm just gonna tune out. I'm just gonna fucking tune out, man, like you guys tune out when I'm fucking talking. I'm gonna tune out on y'all. How about that? Thank you, Nick. I appreciate that. At least you have my back. Thank you, Billy, for the comment. Henry, thank you. Ty, fuck Nazis, fuck communists. Hope they all get with. Hey, look at Ty. Look at Ty online. Oh, here you go. Well, I'm so glad that Ty supports the Gray Zone, came on and said what he said so y'all can see how dangerous this shit is. Thank you, Ty. He says, fuck Nazis, fuck communists, Hope they all get what they deserve. Oh, you want them silenced, Ty? I tell you what, Ty. I want you guys to, well, you know what? I don't. Ty, I'm going to do to you what you want to do to the Nazis and the Russians. There. There you go. Bye, Ty. Now you can see what it feels like when you no longer have a voice. Bye-bye. Anybody else want to see what it feels like to get fucking silenced? Be my guest. Anybody else want to say, fuck the Nazis, they get what they deserve, fuck the communists, they get what they deserve, anything like that? They don't deserve a voice, right? Speak up now, because it'll be the last time you speak up in my goddamn chat. Now, how about some fucking words of encouragement from my audience? How about some motherfuckers agreeing with me for a change? How about some engagement? Can I get some? From any of you? Can we start a conversation? Or is this not interesting? You know, the gray zone, the purveyors of free speech on the internet. They're calling for the silencing of Nazis and communists. Maybe not communists. Nazis and they said other forms of whatever that inspire racist rhetoric, whatever. Yeah, man, there's groups of people that hate other groups of people. Too fucking bad, man. That's our planet. What are you going to do? Exterminate them? Henry says, people don't define me. I am who I am. No one changes who I am. Thank you, Henry. Okay, I got one person talking to me. Anybody else? Would anybody else like to engage in this conversation? At all? Does anybody else think that your voices being silenced one group at a time isn't something to be worried about? We'll start with the Nazis and we'll move on to the communists and then it'll be the socialists. Who's next? Henry Howe Smith. I love this guy. Henry Howe Smith, thank you. Billy, people should be able to say anything. It's about action, not words. When people tell me threatening things, it's entertaining because they won't do shit. Thank you, Billy. Yeah, it's just words. Hey, Nay, just got here. How's your day going? NY710. The day's going good, man. I'm looking for some people to participate in this conversation. We were just watching a video from the Gray Zone. A journalistic news source that Jimmy Dore loves, the Gray Zone, right? Uses them all the time. They say that they're upset with the United States for not going along with the resolution to silence Nazis. And if the United States is saying, look, we don't want to silence Nazis, then the Gray Zone needs to check their asses at the fucking door. At the First Amendment door, motherfucker. America is greater than the Gray Zone when it comes to your free speech. And you know, you guys should tweet at the Gray Zone. You should tweet at Aaron Mate. You should tweet at Max Blumenthal. You should tweet them this goddamn live stream. You should tweet them how you fucking feel about their little fucking Aaron Mate fucking Max Blumenthal clone bitch motherfucker, whatever the fuck he is, going on their goddamn website and telling you that America is wrong because they're allowing, you know, people that they disagree with to have a fucking voice. Nick Brown gets it. Thank you, Nick. Yeah, being silenced is wrong, period. You guys should be mad as fuck about this. I'm telling you, nothing else really pisses me off anymore except watching our First Amendment rights getting fucking ripped away from us one after the next. While everybody out there just shuts up about it. That pisses me the fuck off. Yeah, this morning I was in the shower, I was listening to this guy. And I was like, yeah, you know, I totally ripped this motherfucker apart on my show this morning. And then I thought, oh yeah, but I'm not supposed to care anymore about shit. I'm not supposed to give a fuck about anything anymore. And I'm like, this fucking gets under my skin. This fucking, I mean, it's the goddamn Gray Zone. You know, it's not, you would expect this from Ben Shapiro. You know, you would expect this from a right winger complaining that the United States isn't silencing Nazis. Am I defending Nazis? No, fuck you. No. Am I defending their right to have words? Yeah, I am. Am I defending their right to express themselves? Oh, yeah. However the fuck they see fit. Hey, man, you say fuck their flag, you don't like the swastika? Fuck your flag too, motherfucker. You murdered more people under the American flag than they did under Nazi Germany. What? What? Americans murdered more innocent people than the Nazis did? Check your fucking history, motherfuckers. How do you think we scored this goddamn beautiful piece of land? You think we got in early on a goddamn crypto world space? On a metaverse game? No, we did it the old-fashioned way. We murdered some folks. Millions of folks. Now it's ours. So when you want to call out Nazis for what they did in Germany, call yourself out too. At least we offer free speech. That is the single one most important thing that this country offers. And when you guys give that up, you lose it all. You lose everything. And if you don't make that your hill to stand on, you've already lost this fucking war, man. And let me tell you something. I got really bad news for you guys. We have already lost this free speech war. We have. It's over. And we don't have the power to get it back. You know, you want to get out in the street with fucking what you got to get out there with and take it back? It's the only way you're going to stop this etching away at your rights. And to get your freedom of speech first, that's the way you do it. Because once you silence the voices, they can't complain anymore when you start taking away all their other rights. You talk about a goddamn flag. You know, it's stuck right in the middle of your fucking face. And it's waving around and it's going, look, dude, this is a red flag. And if you guys don't act now, it's way too late. And I know what you're thinking. Nay, we don't have any power. Nay, all I can do is hit my bong and just sit here and nay and blah, blah, blah. Okay, fine. Be that person, man. Be powerless. Don't use the internet. You know, don't write your words down and send them out on a post on the internet. Don't share videos and become an activist. You'll just, you know, like the rest of us, all of us, we're all going down on this ship together. It doesn't matter if you fight it or not. We're all going down. And me sitting here sacrificing fucking 20 viewers so I can scream and yell to try to get a message out there, that's the price I'm taking right now. You know, half of you guys don't want to hear this shit. And you left. God, I wish I could punch every single one of those motherfuckers in the face on their way out the door, you know? You know, fucking shake them. Shake the fucking goddamn life out of them. You know? And just be like, you don't deserve to live. You don't want a voice. You don't want me to have a voice. You know, you think the gray zone should win with their new form of Nazism, and that's what it is. They're the new Nazis, bro. And you're like, God, dude, that's so ironic. Right? Isn't life ironic as fuck? History repeating itself and everything right there in your face where you can see it. It's like a book. You open it up. It's all right there, pictures and all. And all we do is sit there with this cucked face watching it happen. Let me read what this guy just said. I'm glad you guys are finally talking. How's my day? Okay. Here. Being silenced is wrong, period. Right? Well, we have all the right to freedom of speech. Just don't listen to the bullshit. Yeah, we don't have all the right of freedom of speech. That's let me recite some rap lyrics to you. New York 710. Freedom of speech. That's some motherfucking bullshit. You say the wrong thing, they lock your ass up quick. So don't be fucking thinking we've got free speech in this country. We don't. Okay? It's already gone. It's gone too far. This is where I am. No more secrets. None. Let it all hang out and for the world to see, etc. I'm not kidding. No more secrets. Not by government. No one and nowhere. I think it's only some sort of that censorship. Henry Hal Smith, right? Cheers. A. Taleb. Philip. A. Phil, what's up? Realest show on the internet. Thank you, Nick. I wish more people agreed with you. They obviously don't. We were the first pandemic here in the Mayflower killed off a lot of natives by more disease. Thousands of recent with disease. A recent analysis concludes the culprit was a disease called leptospirosis, caused by leptospira bacteria spread by rat urine from ship rats. You know what? You're about half as pissed as I am. I think about it sometimes and it gives me a migraine, not kidding. Yeah, look, Henry, I've got high blood pressure. I can't get really angry about this. I can pretend to be angry on the show. But if I let myself get really angry, I could have a heart attack and die. You know, and I know that. So I got to tone back my own rhetoric sometimes. But boy, oh boy, oh boy, if I could fucking paint blood on the walls right now for you guys, I would. You know, I am at the point where I've reached the end of my rope, you know, and I feel bad for my audience, man. I feel bad for America. I feel bad for the world. Nothing I can do about it. I'm powerless. I've got no voice. And, you know, it would be nice if you guys would share this video, you know, to all the podcasters that I've had on here and maybe say to them, hey, man, you really should have Nay on your show. You know, why don't you have Nay on your show? So he could talk to, you know, 10,000 people instead of 10 people. Wouldn't that be a great tweet that you guys could send out? You could send it to Ron Placone. You could send it to Graham Elwood. Send it to Lee Camp. Send it to Joy. You know, you could send it to Jimmy Dore and Steph Zamorano. Well, he doesn't check his tweets. You could send it to Steph Zamorano, Miserable Liberal. You could send it to, you know, send it to fucking Ben Shapiro. Send it to fucking Candace Owens. Send it to Joe Rogan or whoever, the huge ones. And just say, you know, you have a lot of people on your show, and they're always talking narrative. This one guy is the only guy on the internet who keeps it real. He's literally defending Nazism and other forms of fucking ideas. And he's on the correct side by defending it. You should have him on your show so he can talk to more than fucking 9 people. I'd like to have more than 9 people here. I would. But this is what I get. 9 people. And the 9 people that are here are all going to leave here, and you're probably not going to tell anybody anything that I said, and then the message dies, and it's worthless. It's pointless. He's never tall enough to catch your tweets. Well, I'd love to be speaking to thousands of people instead of 11. I really would. It'd be great. I'd love to get that message out there. I'd love for the masses to know about the gray zone. To know that they're preaching, stifling your fucking speech. That would be great. You know, and all I got is me. Yeah, I can go on Twitter and I could tweet at Max Blumenthal. I could tweet at Aaron Mate. I could tweet at Ms. Berlib. She's not going to give a fuck because they love the fucking gray zone. But you should let them know, hey, you know, Nay's Garden's talking shit about your boys over there at the gray zone. You should probably look into that. He's talking mad shit about the gray zone. Maybe do something about that. You know, maybe engage Nay in some conversation. Maybe talk him down. You know, he's over there defending Nazism. You know, Jimmy Dore pushed him into it. You know, where the fuck are you? You got my back now? You want to come talk to me about it? No cigar. I'm glad you could catch my show today too, Josh. I'm glad. It's one of the most important shows I've ever done. Ever. I've done a lot of important shows. But when it comes to your free speech, you know, everything falls under free speech, man. You want to learn about triage oil? Fucking free speech. You want to watch me smoke a bong hit? Fucking free speech. You want to learn how to grow? Fucking free speech. You want to hear me talk about Nazis? Fucking free speech. You want to talk about crypto? Fucking free speech! Everything's based on free speech. The most important show I've probably ever done. This one. I've got 11 viewers. I got 11 viewers, and every single fucking trendy that came and left because they weren't interested, man, I'd like to fucking knock them out. And you motherfuckers better watch it, because now I can do it. Fucking me too. Oh, no, oh, no, we love you. Pop! Bip! Smack! Nuts! Boom! Fuck you! Where were you when I fucking needed you? Yeah, unfortunately, I'm quantity over quality here, bro. I'm fucking quantity over quality. And that's my problem. You know, when people get what they want and they get too much of it, they stop. There's a pile of cocaine sitting in front of you. You're only going to snort so much of it before your body just shuts down and can't accept it anymore. You know, I'm a pile of cocaine. I'm a giant fucking pyramid-sized pile of cocaine. I'm here all the time. And anytime you walk out of your bedroom, there's that giant pile of cocaine just waiting for you. Yeah, I need to take that pile of cocaine away from you and just give you a little bit. Just a line. Just chop up one little tiny fucking line. That's all you fucking get. I'll see you in a week. Next Wednesday, 7 o'clock. Go fuck yourselves now. Suffer for a week. Oh, I'd have some goddamn viewers then. Oh, I'd have some fuck. You imagine that? Everybody be around with their fucking straws ready to fucking snort them lines. Oh, I can't wait for Nay to go live. I can't wait. You know, I give you too much. And you guys should get bigger fucking straws. Longer, bigger, fatter straws. So you can take bigger, fat lines of coke of me. That's what you need to do. Fucking snort it up. I, for one, would enlighten you to the fact I have done in my life more than many have done in many lifetimes. How many here or anyone in the USA can say they are in the book The Federal Mafia? That be me. Think again that I am going to do nothing when I leave at the end of your live video. But you are right. Most are brain dead and don't give a shit about anything. Henry House Smith, can I ask you how old you are? I want a nay line. You want a line of nay? Let's do one right now. How about it? We smoke cannabis here. No law regarding cannabis. Cannabis is tisms for all. Here's a big fat rail for you. Cheers. I remember the terminology. Don't worry, I'm not getting back into cocaine. I just think it's a really good analogy for me. You're 68 years old. Well, I smoke to that, buddy. You're 68 years old and you're watching my show, Henry. Man, I want to meet you in person, brother. Hal, this is for you. For 68 years old and putting up with this show, I appreciate that so much. I'm glad I'm not screaming your ears off. Fat Rail Phillip, Line of Nay, Nick Brown, Philip Palazzolo, Snowflake. I love it, Snowflake. Henry Housesmith, May 1953. Wow, man. Wow, man. You're almost as old as my parents, bro. All right, cheers. I'm so glad you're here, Henry. Cheers. Look, guys, I don't want to scream and yell. I don't. If there's a lot of you here, I won't do it. If you ever want me to stop screaming and yelling, go share the video around, get more people here. As soon as that shit hits 20, I get real serious. Because I know the screaming and yelling runs people off. Look, I know. People have explained it to me. A couple of the guys in here. They're like, dude, I got issues. When you start yelling, I get upset, and I gotta leave. Okay. I don't want to do it. So instead of you getting upset and leaving, share the video. Tell people how awesome the show is today. And why. Tell them why it's important they come and watch. Write a fucking sentence, man. You know, asking you guys to write a sentence. I mean, all I have to ask you guys to do is click and share. But, hey, retweet with a comment. And then when the comment put, Nay calls out GREYZONE for wanting to silence our First Amendment rights. You know, bring some people in here and let them know, man, GREYZONE is fucking up. Let's talk about this, man. Can we please talk about this? Makes me feel better. The louder, the better, please. I will yell and scream when I feel it, Henry. I don't do it on command. I'm not a dog. But I will do it as I feel it, brother. And I want you to feel the yelling and screaming so you don't have to. You know, I want to yell and scream so people feel like they got it out. You know, and then you don't get the high blood pressure. And hopefully I won't either. You know, because when I do it, I'm doing it in character. So I will yell and scream from time to time, though. Do you guys want to hear some more? I mean, because this goes on and on and on. The reason why I shut it off was because you guys weren't fucking talking at all. And it pissed me off. Okay? So do me a favor. Make a comment from time to time in my chat. Okay, guys? Let me know that you're still here. Share the video around. Let me know that you've shared the video around. Get some more people here. Tell your fucking next door neighbor. Right? How far did we get?
United Nations. Again, before the coup, and you...
Okay. Can you believe he talks about this for 28 minutes?
We saw yet again that this resolution was introduced at the United Nations General Assembly. And once again, only 2 countries in the entire world voted against it. The U.S. and Ukraine. We'll get back to Ukraine in a second. In 2014, there was a fascist-led coup in Ukraine.
You know, you got to ask yourself why the United States is the only country that's voting against this resolution. Because the United States has a better understanding of free speech than any other country in the world. Look at the UK. Hey, do any of my friends from England, Britain, here right now? You motherfuckers say the wrong thing, you get your ass locked up real quick. And that's for real in the UK. You're not allowed to criticize the government openly. There's things you're not allowed to say in the UK, and they will put you in fucking prison. And if anybody should be giving a fuck about this, it's all of my fans that are in the UK, all you guys that are in Australia, where your voices are being silenced already. And you thought you guys had it like America did. And your countries, behind your backs at the UN, are voting to silence Nazis so that they can eventually vote to silence the next thing they disagree with. This is a process, guys.
Orchestrated by Washington, and Ukraine has since been dominated by far-right neo-Nazi elements and ultranationalist extremists. So it's not that surprising that Ukraine has been voting in...
So his reasoning is, because there's some Nazis in that country, that's why the government is supporting the United States to vote against this resolution. Do you hear that? It couldn't be that the Ukraine is doing a deal with the United States and the United States says, look, if you support us here, we're going to hook you up with this. Oh, it couldn't be that. No. He makes up a whole narrative that the Ukrainian government is controlled by Nazis. And if you missed it, I want you to fucking hear it again. Okay? Listen to how he explains this to you.
We'll get back to Ukraine in a second. In 2014, there was a fascist-led coup in Ukraine, orchestrated by Washington, and Ukraine has since been dominated by far-right neo-Nazi elements and ultranationalist extremists. So it's not that surprising that Ukraine has been voting in defense of Nazism at the UN, but in fact, in the first resolution of this kind introduced in 2013, Ukraine voted against it. That was before the coup in Ukraine. Washington, the United States, is the only country that has consistently, every single year since 2013, voted against this resolution, effectively in defense of Nazism. Here are all the countries...
Okay, let's stop right there. Billy, that must be addressed. Wait, I missed a bunch of chat right there. Hold on. That is what I meant. Don't say you're sorry, and I am for the shouting. I would never tell you when, but feel free, please. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Billy, my problem is I grew up with negativity and arguing. My brain made it funny as a defense mechanism, so your anger gives me the giggles. It's just my messed up brain. Dude, if you don't think inside my brain I am laughing the whole time that I do this shit, you got me wrong, bro. It's a fucking character that I play. And in playing the character, I really enjoy it. And I can literally separate myself from the character and as the person in charge of all of it. And just listen and watch and be completely detached. Like you are. I'm laughing right along with you, bro. Trust me, I really am. I think it's hilarious. You know, I think it's hilarious when I scream at somebody in here that says something that I disagree with or says something dumb or whatever. I think that's one of my favorite times, man. I bet there won't be many viewers today with holidays and family if I had to guess. It's not your fault. It's Thanksgiving. Most people are in the kitchen right now watching large men in tights dry hump each other. A number of different UK laws outlaw hate speech. Among them is Section 4 of the Public Order in 1986, which makes it an offense for a person to use threatening, abusive, or insulting words or behavior that causes or is likely to cause another person harassment, alarm, or distress. Oh, God, those fucking UK, man. It's like they have no love the show. Philip, thank you, buddy. Thank you. Let me get this chat off the screen. Let's just move on with this for one more minute.
In the most recent vote, this was on November 12th, 2021. You can see all the countries, 121 countries in the world that voted in favor of this resolution.
They're in favor of silencing people with different political agendas, political ideals. So there's a lot of countries out there that want to silence people. And he tries to use this as a piece of straw to say that America is wrong because they're outnumbered by all these other countries. So that must make it okay to silence people because all these other countries want to do it.
Which again is called combating glorification of
Which again, this is called strawmanning. He's strawmanning you. And he does this for 28 minutes. All about the same thing. And you guys, we're only 3 minutes into this video. All he's trying to argue for is that the United States should allow this fucking silencing of Nazis amendment. He's going to try to convince you for 28 fucking minutes?
Nazism. 2 countries voted against it, the United States and Ukraine. And then there are 53 abstentions, which are voted in favor of this resolution.
Listen.
Which again is called combating glorification of Nazism. 2 countries voted against it, the United States and Ukraine.
So since the resolution is called combating the glorification of Nazism, he thinks that anybody who's against it is glorifying Nazism. And that's what he uses. He uses the title of the video, once again, to lay down another piece of straw. These guys are fucking straw man mechanics. They are professional straw manners, these guys. I've never seen so many pieces of straw to try to back up an idea. And the idea, once again, the idea is to silence people you disagree with. He's trying to convince you that you should silence people you disagree with by laying down all of these pieces of straw. Let's speed it up.
53 abstentions.
We're going to speed it up.
All of the Western allies. So the U.S., its allies, and its puppet regime. So the European Union member states, Belgium,
thank you,
Austria,
Father Rooney.
Also Australia, a de facto colony of the U.S. We see Canada,
hey, just
which
so you know,
past voted against this resolution.
Hey, Father Rooney.
All these
Father Rooney, I don't celebrate Thanksgiving in the sense that other people might. I'm not thankful for white people coming over to a piece of land that was already inhabited by Native Americans and then slaughtering them all and then making a holiday and wishing us all happy Thanksgiving on the day that we designated as the day that we took over, that we came over and took this land as ours. I don't celebrate happy Thanksgiving, but I'll tell you this, I appreciate your sentiment, and I hope that one day you realize what Thanksgiving really represents. I hope you do. Enjoy the turkey and enjoy your family. Absolutely. Use it as a time to be around your family. You should do that more often. At the same time, remember what it's supposed to signify, and that you play into it when you wish people happy Thanksgiving. I like to call it Happy Murder the Indigenous Day. Happy Murder Millions of Natives Day. Let's keep it real.
Western countries. Estonia, which is a NATO colony. Iceland, Hungary, Greece. It's Western imperial countries.
Straw.
So this is just this year's vote. But this is
and
not
you know what,
time.
Dave?
Let's take a look really quickly here.
And it's okay, because we're such horrible people that we literally need to be told, go visit your family. This is Thanksgiving. That's when you do it. That's how horrible we are. We should just be doing it all the time. Travel should be so easy and free. We should be able to travel around the world at ease with no problems and no cost. And we should all be able to be with each other. No, everyone has to make a lot of money off of it. Everyone has to make a lot of money off of travel. Think about it. How much form of revenue is generated from travel around the world? God, could you imagine? Let's find out. Okay, Google. Total revenue generated by all travel worldwide yearly.
According to Tourism Industry Association of BC, tourism plays a significant role in the national economy, generating an estimated $104.9 billion in tourism expenditures in 2019.
Tourism.
Supporting approximately
I said
1% jobs in
travel.
communities across Canada and
Not
contributes an
tourism.
estimated
I mean
$43.5
getting in your
billion
car,
in
driving to
tourism
work, getting
statewide.
on a bus, riding the train, getting on a plane and visiting your mom, going to work, commuting on a plane, getting on a cruise ship. All travel. All of it. All forms of travel. Buying a motorcycle, buying a bicycle, a fucking skateboard. I don't care what the fuck it is. All forms of travel. I wonder how much revenue all that generates every year. Okay, Google. Okay, Google. Yearly travel.
According to Merriam-Webster, definition of yearly: 1. Reckoned by the year. 2. Occurring, appearing, made, done, or acted upon every year or once a year.
I hate when I do that.
Annual. Yearly.
Total travel revenue. Global. I wonder what global. Think taxi cabs. Think about all of the revenue generated by fucking travel. It's a goddamn scam, just like everything else is. Travel, the cannabis industry, big pharma, all of it. The military, the government, dude, it's all a fucking scam.
Here, this is the United Nations Digital Library, and this has all of the resolutions going back to 2013. Here you can see the first time this was introduced was in November. Sorry, it was in April.
I'm gonna speed it up even
2013.
faster. Oh my god.
No, actually, no. This is the. I'm sorry. It was introduced in November of 2013. It's the American style of dates. So the first time it was introduced, it was in November of 2013. And you can see here the first ever vote was in December of 2013 on this resolution. Let me get up the resolution here.
Dude, I can understand
Combating
everything.
glorification of Nazism and other practices that relate to contribute. Sorry, other practices that contribute to fueling contemporary forms of racism, racial discrimination, xenophobia, and related intolerance. So in this vote in December of 2013, 135 countries voted for the resolution that is condemning Nazism, and only 4 countries voted against the resolution. But let's take a look at what those countries were. Canada was one of the countries that voted in defense of Nazism.
In defense of Nazism.
A tiny Pacific Island
So,
nation,
look.
which just does that because I'm sure the U.S. These Pacific Island nations.
Notice that every time he says it, he says they're voting in defense of Nazism. He doesn't say they're voting in defense of people having a voice and having free speech. It's the way he's wording it. So every time he says voting in defense of Nazism, he's literally laying down another piece of straw every fucking time. And he's reinforcing it by saying it every time, over and over again.
Which the U.S. basically bribes them to vote in support of its resolutions. Palau, another Pacific
Hey,
Island nation, and the
Leo,
United States.
what's
So,
up?
two small Pacific Island nations, the United States and Canada,
Or
were the only
Leo.
countries on Earth that voted in defense of Nazism back in 2013 at the United Nations. Now, what was their rationale for this? Every single year, the U.S. vote published on November 12, 2021. Now, I want to point out that when the
No longer got
Trump
cannabis.
administration did
Cannabis
this
is
in
just for all.
2017,
Cheers,
18,
everybody.
19, and 2020, because the Trump administration did it
Oh, it's
all 4 years,
420. What do you know?
then the liberal corporate media rightfully talk about this. But they portrayed this as some kind of unique Trump administration vote. Trump, his government is voting in defense of Nazism. What they didn't mention is that the Obama administration also did the exact same thing in 2013, 14, 15, and 16. This is totally bipartisan. And now we have the Biden administration voting in 2021. So that is 9 years of votes going back to 2013, with the U.S. consistently voting every single year, 4 years of the Obama administration, 4 years.
Wow, it's almost as if all presidents are defending our free speech. What an idiot.
The Trump administration and now the Biden administration consistently voting in support of Nazism. Here's their explanation. They say that they join the world in condemning Nazism, but they claim that it is part of it. They don't want to legitimize a Russian disinformation campaign denigrating neighboring nations and promoting the distorted Soviet narrative of much of contemporary European history, using the cynical guise of halting Nazi glorification. So they admit that the reason that the U.S. has been voting every single year to defend Nazism is to own Russia, is to get back at Russia. Now,
That's
I wanna
not
point
it.
out, a lot of people think that this resolution that's introduced every year to the UN is because of Ukraine, because as I mentioned,
They want to own Russia over one resolution about Nazism. They're trying to give Russia the finger, right? Allowing free speech. Do I believe in the 1000x Tesla stock? Leslie. 1000x? I don't know what you're talking about.
2014, in so-called Euromaidan, the U.S. government, the Obama administration, orchestrated a coup to overthrow the democratically elected government of Ukraine, led by Viktor Yanukovych, who, yes, he was corrupt, but he was democratically elected. And his so-called crime in the eyes of the U.S. was being too soft on Russia. He's often called pro-Russia, but he actually wasn't extremely
Right,
pro-Russia. He was
Josh?
anti-Russia.
Yeah, he's talking
And
as
his other
fast as
so-called
Ben
crime
Shapiro.
was opposing a so-called free
That's
trade
funny.
agreement with the European Union, which led to this color revolution, this coup attempt. That was the Muslim.
And it sounds like he's saying something exactly like Ben Shapiro would be saying.
Sector, the Azov battalion, these fascist thugs who became these neo-Nazi death squads, these militias that were then incorporated into the Ukrainian state. Now, the argument often made is that Russia began introducing these resolutions to combat Nazism in 2014 after the Euromaidan, after the US-backed coup in Ukraine. That is not true. As I showed, you can go to the UN, this is again, the official digitallibrary.un.org, the official UN digital library, and you can look at it here and see that the first time this resolution was introduced was in November 2013, several months before the US-backed coup in Ukraine. This was not because of Ukraine, actually, which is why, as I mentioned, if you look at the first vote in 2013, one of the countries that voted against one of the countries that voted for the resolution, that is, one of the countries that voted to condemn Nazism, it actually abstained. Ukraine abstained, but it did not vote against the resolution as it did this year in 2021. That is because at that time, Ukraine's government was still the Yanukovych government, which again, was called pro-Russian, even though, as you can see, they actually abstained on the vote. They were not necessarily pro-Russian. They were just not a NATO colony, as Ukraine is now, a NATO colony. No, the reason that this resolution was introduced in 2013 was because there was a growing campaign in Eastern Europe and Central Europe of these NATO colonies like Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, Poland, many of which are EU member states and NATO colonies, and they have more and more been trying to rewrite the history of the Holocaust in defense of basically Nazi collaborators and fascists. And since the 2014 coup in Ukraine, with Stepan Bandera and the neo-Nazi collaborators, the neo-Nazis now who are honoring the Nazi collaborators back from World War II, in Ukraine this has become much more prominent. But actually, this resolution predates the coup in Ukraine and goes back to, it was a way of condemning.
He's talking about, he's mad they want to rewrite history while he literally wants to silence people. Do you hear the hypocrisy in that? Hey, they're trying to rewrite history. But we don't want to hear what anybody has to say, so let's silence all of them. Wow, look at the smug look on his face, too. So smug. Look at that fucking smug mug. Oh, come on, Aaron Blumenthal. Max Mate. I like Max Mate. His name is Max. I believe this guy's name is Ben, but I'm going to call him Max Mate.
These countries in Eastern Europe, they're trying to rewrite the history of World War II to say that the Soviet Union were the bad guys. And this is actually referred to as double genocide theory, and it's totally supported by the U.S. government. It is a form of Holocaust revisionism that is backed by the U.S. government and by NATO.
How so?
Here you can see, this is a really good article by one of the greatest scholars on this issue, Bill Katz, and you can see, he wrote this article, The Double Genocide Theory, the new and official form of Holocaust denial. He talks about how in Eastern Europe there's been this debate going on with Eastern European governments.
This one guy.
He talks about there's a bogus moral equivalence that Trump drew between American neo-Nazis and those who oppose them. Well, this is very similar to what's happening.
Dude, you're talking about Donald Trump, not all of America, you fucking idiot. Another massive piece of straw he's throwing down. Can you believe this? Did everybody catch that entire thing? He's like, America's defense is becoming Nazis. He's like, Donald Trump said. Yeah, Donald Trump's a fucking Nazi. You know, he sleeps with Mein Kampf next to his fucking bed. What do you expect? He loves Adolf Hitler. What do you expect? He doesn't represent America, dude. Oh yeah, America's becoming Nazis. You guys want to hear that all over again? It's fucking psychotic. This guy is psychotic. GREYZONE has jumped the shark totally.
That is backed by the U.S. government and by NATO. Here you can see, this is a really good article by one of the greatest scholars on this issue, Dovid Gatz, and you can see that he wrote this article, The Double Genocide Theory, the new and official form of Holocaust denial.
And
he talks about how in Eastern Europe there's been this debate going on about...
And let me just say this. It's one dude that wrote an article. He's like, oh, yeah, look, there's an article here. There's an article, and it says words in it. And they have meanings. Look, everybody, I'm going to show you this article by this one person. It's not based on a study or anything. It's just one guy's opinion about something that Donald Trump said.
With Eastern European governments, he talks about there's a bogus moral equivalence that Trump drew between American neo-Nazis and those who oppose them. Well, this is very similar to what's happening in Eastern Europe right now. Bogus moral equivalence is having a profound and demonstrable effect upon evolving 21st century perceptions of the Holocaust. This is state-sponsored, public square adulation for those who collaborated in Nazi genocide in Eastern Europe. So he talks about here, Dovid Gatz is based in Lithuania, and he talks about the growing campaign of state-sponsored, NATO state-sponsored rewriting of the Holocaust to defend Nazi collaborators. That's why this resolution was first introduced back in 2013. That is why NATO has been promoting Nazi collaborators in its propaganda. Here is an article I wrote back at the GREYZONE in 2017. Flashing NATO film honors Baltic Nazi collaborators who murdered Jews in Holocaust. So you can see a screenshot. NATO.
Again, an article by one dude. These are all of his pieces of straw. He's like, look, this guy said this one thing. Said this.
Published, the official NATO military cartel, led by the U.S., published a highly produced propaganda video rewriting the history of Baltic Nazi collaborators called the Forest Brothers. They fought the Soviet armies for their homelands after World War II, NATO says. They were Nazi collaborators.
Well, they were fighting for their own lives in their own homes? Oh, okay. Well, maybe they had to side with the Nazis to do that, dude. Another piece of straw. Were they gassing the Jews too, bro? No, they weren't.
We've seen this campaign of NATO member states, especially in Eastern and Central Europe, especially the Baltic regimes, which are NATO protectorates, trying to rewrite the history of the Holocaust to make these Nazi collaborators heroes. Here's another example of this. I wrote an article in 2019 over at the GREYZONE of how in the United States, the Lithuanian government,
dude,
the NATO and EU member states,
he's literally citing his own articles. This guy's name is Ben Norton. I just realized that. The last article he cited was his own opinion. And he's using his own articles as if they're points of reference. This is some serious reporting here, man. Do any of you have anything to say about that? At all? Josh G, thank you. He says, what a moron. Anybody else? Josh G, I'm going to go with that. What a moron. He must not know about peer reviewing. I mean, did he pay attention to his journalism classes? Here's another article I wrote for the GREYZONE back in May 2019. Let me cite my own work here. This is the most unprofessional shit I've ever seen, and he wants to silence people.
The Lithuanian government sponsored the creation of a monument to a Nazi collaborator in the United States, in Illinois. And here you can see this is the photo of these people dressed up in traditional Lithuanian clothing with representatives from the Lithuanian government. Again, an EU and NATO member state. Here's the Lithuanian Foreign Ministry praising the so-called hero, Adolfas Ramanauskas Vanagas. He was a Nazi collaborator who led a fascist militia that murdered Jews in the Holocaust. But he fought against the Soviet Union, so NATO and the European Union, the United States, consider him to be a hero because he fought against communists. Even though he collaborated with Nazi Germany, they don't care. Because in the eyes of capitalist imperialism, the fascists, the Nazis, are actually preferable to communists. This is why the resolution started being introduced in 2013 at the United Nations. Again, before the coup in Ukraine. Here you can see this was introduced in 2013 for the first time, and look at the countries that originally co-sponsored this legislation. Yes, Russia was one of them, but also Belarus, Bolivia, Cuba, Kazakhstan, Nicaragua, Pakistan, Syria, Turkmenistan, and Venezuela. So you see multiple leftist governments, including Venezuela, including Cuba, including Nicaragua, revolutionary anti-imperialist governments. We see Belarus, we see the Bolivian government, another revolutionary socialist government in Latin America. We also see Syria, we see Turkmenistan, Kazakhstan. So not just leftist governments. I mean, Kazakhstan, Turkmenistan.
I'm going to tweet at Ben Norton right now.
So this was not just a campaign led by Russia. It was a campaign led by these governments with additional sponsors, including Algeria, Angola, Bangladesh, Benin, Congo, Ivory Coast, DPRK, Equatorial Guinea, Eritrea, Gabon, India, Iraq, Kyrgyzstan, Laos, Lebanon, Myanmar, Namibia, Niger, Nigeria, Rwanda, Seychelles, Sri Lanka, Sudan, Tajikistan, Uganda, Tanzania, Uzbekistan, Vietnam, and Zimbabwe. So it's a lot of countries in the global south, especially countries that had revolutions against colonialism, like Algeria, Angola, Bangladesh that had a revolution against Pakistan, backed by the UK in a genocide, Congo, DPRK, Eritrea. So anti-colonialist countries in the global south have been the countries introducing this resolution, which is not only against Nazism, it's also against forms of racism, racial discrimination, xenophobia, and intolerance. This is why almost the vast majority of countries, in the world vote against this every single year, and only 2 countries consistently vote against it: the U.S. and sometimes Canada, and now Ukraine.
Are they the gray zone?
This is not some kind of Russian propaganda legislation. This is this is a resolution against Nazism and racism. And the U.S. continuously shows itself to be the brave empire that goes against the entire world and votes is the only country in the world that votes in support of Nazism. So here are some other resolutions here. This is from 2014. Again, 4 no votes. That's it. 4 different no votes. And if we look in 2014, who were the 4 countries that voted no in defense of Nazism?
It's an A. Gray zone.
Canada, yet again. This is 2014. Canada, yet again. And Palau, Ukraine, and the United States. So this is 2014. This is after the US-backed Euromaidan coup led by Nazis. And since then, Ukraine has consistently voted with the United States in defense to protect Nazis at the United Nations every single year. And if you look back at the list, I'm not going to go through this every single year because it'll just take a long time. You get the idea. 2015, once again, 4 countries voted no. Here's 2016. Only 2 countries voted no. And now, Canada abstained. The only countries that voted no as of 2016 were Ukraine and the United States. Canada began to abstain because obviously it is a bad look for Canada to continuously vote in defense of Nazism. This is probably because Justin Trudeau of the Liberal Party entered office, and his whole thing is being like pretend like he's like woke and fake anti-racism. So he's like, man, it's a really bad look to keep voting in defense of Nazism at the United Nations. 2017, the United States and Ukraine, the only countries in the world to vote in support of Nazism. 2018, again, only 2 countries. 2019, again, 2 countries. 2020, 2 countries. Every single year since the Trudeau administration entered office in Canada, Canada has been abstaining instead of voting in defense of Nazism like it was doing during the conservative
I wonder what his ad is on Twitter.
And now, consistently, every single year, the U.S. government has voted in defense of Nazism. The U.S. says that it's because of Russia, but no, this is this year's
the
resolution.
Gray Zone News.
And you see the countries that were the main authors, the co-authors. Yeah. Again, this is 2021, this year. The main authors of this resolution.
All right, I'll
Armenia, Belarus, Cambodia, China,
I'll make it
Ivory
out
Coast,
to
Cuba,
Aaron
DPRK,
Mate
Eritrea,
and all
Laos,
them.
Nicaragua, Pakistan, Russia, South
Max
Africa, Syria, Pakistan, Venezuela. So, according to the U.S., which claims the U.S. Embassy every year, the U.S. office at the UN, every year they claim that this resolution is Russian propaganda. But are we supposed to believe that Cambodia is a Russian colony? That China is supposedly a Russian protectorate? Ivory Coast, Cuba, the DPRK, Eritrea, Laos, Pakistan? No, this is not just Russia. These are largely, many of them are anti-imperialist countries. Armenia survived the genocide. Venezuela is a socialist leftist government. South Africa survived. The people of South Africa lived through a horrific white supremacist apartheid regime. The DPRK people of North Korea survived the borderline genocidal war in 1950-1953, waged by the U.S. This is not just some Russian so-called disinformation, which is what the U.S. Embassy always says. No, this is a resolution to condemn Nazism. And the U.S. every year at the UN votes in defense of Nazism to defend the NATO colonies in Lithuania, Estonia, Latvia, Poland, and to defend Ukraine, the Nazi-infiltrated regime. I've done multiple videos talking about how the U.S. military has been training the Azov battalion, there's photos of them meeting with this Ukrainian neo-Nazi white supremacist militia that is now part of the Ukrainian National Guard, part of the Ukrainian state. The U.S. continuously votes every year in the United Nations to defend Nazism because that is its foreign policy. Here is the statement of the European Union, the explanation of their vote, this November 12th, 2021. They did not vote in support of Nazism. They abstained on the resolution. If the U.S. wasn't trying to defend its Nazi puppets in Eastern Europe, then the U.S. could abstain. No, they want to be the only country in the world, along with their colony Ukraine, to vote in defense of Nazism. If you don't believe me, you think it's an exaggeration that when I say that Ukraine is basically a colony, a de facto protectorate, a client regime of the U.S., then don't forget the EU. Remember the EU Victoria Nuland quote? Victoria Nuland gave this alleged, it's not alleged. That's so hilarious. I was just looking at this article to get it up, and they said alleged. It's not alleged. We have an audio recording of now the neocon Victoria Nuland, who is now the third in command of the U.S. State Department, the third highest level diplomat of the U.S. State Department, a hardcore neocon married to neocon Archduke Robert Kagan. So in 2014, there was famously this leaked phone call of this recording of Victoria Nuland, this neocon back in the Obama administration who returned to the Biden-Clinton State Department. She said F the EU. But why she said F the EU is because she was saying, this was a small scandal, but she was saying F the EU because the U.S. was saying F the EU, we choose who the Ukrainian government top officials are going to be. That's why she said F the EU, because the U.S. chose the top officials in the Ukrainian government after the U.S.-sponsored 2014 coup in Ukraine, and Ukraine became a colony. The top level officials in Ukraine were not determined by the Ukrainian people, they were determined by Washington.
God, he talks a lot, doesn't he? Bro, most politics are like propaganda. They're harmful to society. Our minister in Denmark killed all mink farms without permission. They're not that clever. Thank you for the stream. Josh, welcome. Henry, this asswipe. Wow. How long did it take him to be such an asswipe? Propaganda today. I mean, it's so fitting. The name of your show is called Propaganda. I wonder if it's going to pop up. Propaganda Today. There it is. Propaganda Dailies. Propaganda Today. I wonder if that's him. You know, Jimmy Dore taught me over a year ago. Taught me well. Jimmy Dore taught me well. You know, you need to let everyone speak. There is a hashtag for First Amendment, but I don't know what it is. That's fine. I think that's a good tweet. You know, you can't fucking just go around silencing everybody you fucking disagree with, man. That's the one thing I've learned just on this podcast. You know? You just can't do it. And it goes beyond silencing voices. Then you get locked up in prison, then you get executed. And then they go after everybody they disagree with. It all depends on who's in power, man, and who seizes it. I'm glad some of you guys 7 of you take this seriously. Seven of you. Oh, I lost my @ on Propaganda Today. You guys, can I get a like and a retweet on Twitter? It's gonna be under my tweets and replies. It's gonna be my first tweet and reply. But I'll go ahead and pin it to my profile. Well, I hit the wrong button. I hit embed tweet. Pin to profile. There it is. Alright, that'll make it easy to find. It's my pinned tweet on Twitter. Please retweet it at Aaron Mate, Max Blumenthal, Miserable Lib, Jimmy Dore Show, Convo Couch. Get it out there. You know, I know that I don't know her name. It's Isabella Fior. I'm sorry, I don't know your name. It's hard for me to remember her name for some reason, but Isabella from the Convo Couch, she's been kicked off of Twitter repeatedly. She just got banned again. And, you know, I used to agree with that, especially with the Convo We Make Stuff Up Couch. Which they do. They don't have good facts over there. But you know what? Jimmy Dore taught me. Hey, man, you know what? We can still be friends, number one. Number two, you definitely have a right to a voice on social media, and you shouldn't be silenced, whether you're getting it right or not. Jimmy Dore's been getting a lot of stuff wrong lately. I don't want him silenced. You know? You can't. Oh, thank you, guys. I got 2 retweets. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. 2 likes, 2 retweets. Thank you. Wow. Propaganda Today. Totally. Fucking dude. I mean, silence the Nazis? Isn't that pro-Israel rhetoric coming out of the gray zone? That's what Ben Norton would call it. That's pro-Israeli rhetoric. That's a nice piece of straw right there, I think. It's pro-Israeli rhetoric. Gray Zone is pontificating pro-Israeli rhetoric. Ben Norton, that's so funny. That guy. Hey, Norton. hey now, Norton. Wow, I didn't even notice the show name. What's the show name? Oh, Propaganda Today. I know, right? Fucking Propaganda Today. What a stupid. You know, he's trying to be like Lee Camp, redacted tonight. They thought they could think of something witty like Lee Camp does. You guys aren't Lee Camp. Quit trying to fucking be Lee. Hey, somebody retweet that at Lee Camp. I'll retweet it at Lee Camp. He'll see it too. He follows me. As a joke on my show, I was calling Gray Zone's reporting pro-Israel. I bet they're gonna hate me, man. Maybe we should retweet that to Empire Files, man. The Empire Files. Really interesting, man. You know, if you're gonna do this right, you're gonna do this First Amendment thing right. Pro-Israel. It's funny, fucking pro-Israel. Dude, what a piece of straw. I love it. I love it. GREYZONE, you're reporting pro-Israel rhetoric. U.S. military unprepared for climate change. Uh-oh, U.S. military is unprepared for climate change. Here we go. This is Dr. Guy McPherson, guys. He's a friend of the show. Oh, more of that. More of that.
Good Thursday morning. It's November 25th, 2021. I'm Guy McPherson, Nature Matters Last. You can find Nature Matters Last at GuyMcPherson.com. Today's Science Update includes a single article from CNN. It is headlined, Senior Pentagon Official Warns the U.S. Military is, quote, not ready, end quote, for climate change. That's a bummer. Continuing the conquest for oil strategy that got us to this point is not going to work with human extinction. Who'd have thunk it?
That's a bummer.
Here's the lead. A senior Pentagon official warned the U.S. military is not ready to handle climate change, a national security issue that touches nearly every aspect of Defense Department planning. Defense? Mostly it's offense, and it's offensive. Quote, we are not ready where we should be, and now is beyond the time when we need to get in front of that challenge. That's the quote from Deputy Defense Secretary Kathleen Hicks as she spoke to CNN. And there are a lot of problems here. They mention rising sea level, which is the least of our concerns. Hicks, the first woman to hold the Pentagon's #2 position, leads the military's different efforts on climate change. And that's got to be a miserable position to have. On a recent 2-day trip to Michigan, Connecticut, and Rhode Island, so the senior official is making 2-day trips to 3 different states and wondering about greenhouse gases in the atmosphere. Curious. Hicks saw work on the first generation of electric military vehicles, including an electric light reconnaissance vehicle at GM Defense. As the civilian automotive industry goes green, the Pentagon will follow. Not lead. These are the people who have all the money and all the access to everything, and they're going to follow the civilian response?
That's all they got.
Curious. And here's the quote again from Hicks. If we don't follow and be part of the solution, we will be left behind and our vehicle fleets won't be able to respond.
Wow.
Yeah. Duh. The fight against climate change has been a cornerstone of the Biden administration's agenda. While not talking at all about the dire straits we're actually in, and never mentioning the near-term ice-free Arctic Ocean. In his first week in office, President Joe Biden signed an executive order to put the climate crisis at the center of foreign policy.
I just had a fucking... Where's Billy? Billy! Billy Valentine! Is Billy here? Anybody? Does anybody see Billy? Where are you, Billy? Billy, are you out there? Billy, are you here? Are you working in the studio, Billy? Where are you? I have an idea. Billy, are you not here? Check this idea out. You invent electric powertrains, you know, for cars. Right? Billy, check this idea out. You invent electric powertrains for cars that are designed to have the engine and the gas lines and the gas tank and all that removed and replaced with exact things that fit right in the same bolt holes for a complete electric powertrain for that same vehicle. And you make them for every fucking gas-powered car out there. That company would fucking make so much money. Think about that idea. Yeah, so you pull out the fucking Chevy, 350 that's sitting in the 4-bolt main. You pull that out. You pull out the fucking, the gas lines and the gas tank. And where the gas tank goes, the battery goes, and it fucking powers the electric motor that locks right into the fucking gears on the transmission. It runs right with the transmission. It's all designed to run with the transmission. I mean, get the re-engineers on that shit. You know? I bet there's vehicles out there where that'd be real easy to do, and you focus on those first. You know? Holy shit, man. You know, that's the problem. He's like, how are you going? Well, imagine this. You've got all these military vehicles. It's the same fucking thing. You take the powertrain out of them and you replace them with something that's designed to just perfectly fit in there. And dude, if Tesla can do a vehicle that's faster than anything on the road that's mass produced with the Plaid, then there's going to be more advanced technology in powertrains that should be able to last longer on battery tech, I would think. I don't know. I'm just doing this. What do you think, Billy?
Policy and national security. Quote, there is little time left to avoid setting the world on a dangerous, potentially catastrophic climate trajectory, end quote. Biden wrote in the order.
He's saying this. Yeah, right.
That ship already sailed, folks.
Right. He's saying this like he's angry as fuck because he's been warning people about this for years and he's been ignored by everybody. Nobody wants to talk about it. And you can hear it in his attitude right there, man. He's pissed off.
This is a huge challenge, obviously, and not merely for the Department of Defense,
So
not merely
it's
for
too
the
late.
U.S. government, for all of us. Because I don't think there's any way at this point to prevent a near-term ice-free Arctic Ocean. And given that the Arctic is the planet's air conditioner, that bodes particularly poorly for those of us who want habitat retained for humans on Earth. Continuing with the article from CNN, the number of personnel days for National Guard members fighting wildfires in the western United States has increased more than tenfold from about 14,000 5 years ago to 176,000 this year. That's a profound increase in firefighting activity because the world's on fire. Climate change will be folded into the updated National Defense Strategy due next year. It's always next year, isn't it? It's always next year that the real action is going to be taken. In last year's budget, the Defense Department devoted $617 million to preparing for climate change and mitigating its effects. This pales in comparison with the damage from extreme weather events. $617 million? That's pocket change for the U.S. military, for the federal budget, and it's also pocket change compared to the damage that is being done every day, every month, every year by climate change. 2 hurricanes, Michael in 2018 and Sally in 2020, caused $4 billion.
They do, Seymour, and they've got cars that literally when you hit the brakes charge the batteries too. That technology already exists. It makes sense, right? You got wheels turning, generating energy. The only thing it's doing, the only energy that the tires are doing is they're not creating any energy at all. I mean, not until you tap into that. There should be a rotary on each tire going to the fucking a generator that's charging the batteries. You're right. That's genius, bro. I'm sure they have that shit. I mean, why wouldn't they?
In damage at Tyndall Air Force Base alone.
How much would it slow the car down? You know, the thing's fucking spinning that fast.
according to a Department of Defense report. So the military is being hit very hard, and
Google that
decades
shit.
too late, they are showing significant concern for this major predicament. Another quote from Hicks in the CNN article, once we start to understand that we can't opt out of climate change in anything that we do, it's just a fact, a reality of how we think about the future, then we can start to really get in front of and be productive on climate change. I don't think so. There's no getting in front of this predicament. We are way behind in responding to the predicament, and given that the aerosol masking effect has been about the same as it is now for 100 years, I think it's a little too late to start making mitigative measures. Furthermore, as an indication of the Defense Department and how much they really
Got
think
hit by a
about this
mosquito,
issue,
motherfucker.
the Defense Department, this is from the CNN article again, the Defense Department did not send a top representative to the recent COP26 conference on climate in Glasgow, Scotland. Well, there you go. But again, Hicks welcomed the conference as an opportunity for key players, but not the military, to participate in doing something about climate change. She says the United States can do a lot to help this world problem, but it can't do it alone. This is leadership? It can't do it alone. We do conquest for oil every single day, and we have for my entire life in this country, but we can't lead on the most important topic in human history. Okay, I misspoke. I have a second article that goes hand in hand with this article from CNN, this one from Yahoo News, the naive fantasy of global action on climate change. Oh, this is a complete turnabout from what the Defense Department wants you to know, wants you to think about. The United Nations Climate Change Conference, COP26, concluded in Glasgow on Sunday with predictable results. Entirely too predictable, in my opinion. After 2 weeks of negotiations, delegates managed to reach an agreement that split the difference between the interests of participating countries. Of course, it's all about compromise. Official sources praised the deal as a step toward the goal of controlling global warming, while critics denounced the incremental process as failure. The whole script could have been written in advance. Indeed. 26 times in advance it could have been written. Without anybody traveling to Scotland at massive carbon cost. Of course, something could have been done. The whole script could have been written. It could have been written 26 years ago when the first attempt was made to do nothing. The next phase is predictable, too, according to the Yahoo News article. One by one, rich states will abandon commitments to emissions reduction that were already watered down from initial targets. Well, yeah. You can't expect anybody in the United States, the most privileged nation perhaps in the history of the world, to actually give up some privilege.
Right.
Can you?
No.
That would be asking a little too much. Then pressure will build to repeat the entire pointless process again. This is a direct quote from the Yahoo News article. That scenario would provide plenty of work for diplomats and NGOs.
We are an oil-based
but it will do little to advance
planet.
The nominal goal, the so-called goal.
Because we banned hemp in 1937.
And the previous conference of parties.
We should have been using hemp
the
all this
solution
time.
isn't another conference. The underlying problem is that international climate negotiations are based on a deeply naive understanding of collective action. This model of global cooperation to stop climate change is a fantasy. That's the line of these two articles that makes the most sense to me. We can think about it. You can hardly get your favorite person, your partner, to negotiate a settlement on who's going to wash the dishes tonight. And we're trying to tackle something as enormous as climate change,
Good point.
Involving every nation on the planet.
We can't do it. Yeah.
The rest of this article at Yahoo News is well worth reading, so I encourage you to take a skip over to GuyMcPherson.com, where this article is embedded upon release of this video, and look at just absolutely how hilarious the ongoing efforts
I drive
are.
diesels.
And by hilarious, I mean deeply tragic, because they're going to cost us all our lives. Environmentalists might dream of climate commandos willing and able to act where governments won't. And that certainly would be a dream. But in the real world, states simply aren't going to embrace the kind of changes that would be necessary to make a difference.
Guys say I don't like mustaches. I don't mind guys' mustaches. Isn't that funny?
No.
But that other guy, that Ben Norton's mustache is fucking horrible. It looks like somebody pooped on his lip.
I don't think there's any changes that can make a difference, except perhaps the mere reflection framework. And even that, because we got started so late, may be too late to prevent the near-term Arctic Ocean. And when that comes, it's game.
I mean, have you ever seen fox poop? Or bobcat poop? You know, any kind of poop that's got rabbit hair intertwined in it basically looks like Ben Norton's mustache.
Over, folks. That's all for habitat for humans and therefore all life on Earth. Just days before President Biden addressed the climate conference, COP26, his administration prepared to auction drilling rights in the Gulf of Mexico. He shouldn't have bothered interrupting his nap. This is the conclusion from the Yahoo News article.
I'll convert them to hemp oil.
Climate activists disrupted the ceremonial introduction of the Lord Mayor in the City of London, coincident with the COP26 taking place. That looks great on social media, but it doesn't accomplish a single thing. In fact, I'm convinced that groups such as Extinction Rebellion have in mind other people making huge sacrifices, spending time in jail, and for what?
Making money.
For nothing.
To make money.
Because so far they haven't accomplished a thing that is noteworthy. They've attracted attention, and if that's what they're trying to do, then they've been quite successful.
Right.
If this is all about attracting attention and basking in the privilege that comes with it, seeing your name in the newspaper every now and then, then Extinction Rebellion and like-minded groups are tremendously successful. If they're trying to accomplish something,
Green New Deal,
they're failing.
Circular power. You're like, whatever.
Even if they're seeking a less dystopian vision of a warmer future than the Mad Max films, they do involve a harsher, more competitive, even less egalitarian world in which countries look out for themselves more than to make empty plans to work together. That's where we're headed. That's where we're at, in fact, right now. That's the environmental situation we're in, as correctly pointed out by the Yahoo News article, and more treaties and international conferences aren't going to change it. Bottom line, from this article, forget about saving the ship. It's time to sink or swim. My bottom line, there's no swimming in an empty pool. It's not sink or swim. The pool is empty. It's time for planetary hospice, not empty promises.
Hospice.
It's time to move on with our lives and do what we need to do to accept and act accordingly in light of our near-term demise.
Yeah, GuyMcPherson.com.
Thank you so much for your attention. Please like, subscribe, and hit the bell to receive notifications of future videos. Become a member of this channel to receive additional perks at as little as 99 cents a month. Mostly, though, thanks for watching. We'll try to put together another one of these science updates in another week.
He goes once a week. I go 3 times a day. Guy McPherson. Well, there you have it, folks. Enjoy your days. I will see you guys this afternoon at around 3 o'clock or so, my time. Oh, why did I do that? I keep doing that. Why do I do that, man? I don't know why. I'll see you guys later. All right, hope you had fun. Thanks for watching. If you want to help me out, you can go over to Twitter and retweet my tweet, my pinned tweet. It's at Naze Garden. I'd appreciate that. I'd love to see other people talk about this. I have a feeling people aren't going to touch it. They're scared. No one wants to keep it real. Ben Norton's over there, beating the drum. Everyone should silence these people. And I want to see where all my favorite podcasters are on this and if they're going to defend free speech or not against Nazis. You gotta do it if you're gonna claim you're for free speech, then you've gotta protect the free speech of fucking Nazis. And I will lead the fucking charge, man. All right, you guys take care.